What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the garage. If you guys have followed me from my last video, or if you've been following me on Instagram, you already know the Suburban. Suburban's a new vehicle in the garage. We replaced both Jaguars, which are no longer here. Still got Gzilla. As you can tell by the thumbnail, we're doing our first big mod. If you guys don't know, this is a 5.3 liter V8. And one thing I definitely will say I loved from the Jaguars, specifically the F-Type, is that V8 grumble. Today we're going to be installing, as you can see in the background, brand new Corsa Performance exhaust system. Jumping right into it, as you can see here, we already got the exhaust system unpacked, laid out. I wanted to make sure I had all of the components that are involved in this kit. You can jump online, use an online version, or print out the directions if you would like. And then once you have it all laid out and know you have everything in the kit, flip over to page 7. Here's some pro tips or some additional items that they want you to do for the clamps and for marking when it comes to alignment. Go ahead and read that. It'll tell you exactly what you need to do. Long story short, you're just making your marks on your pipe, and of course you're applying some anti-seize to the threads only of your clamps. So you can do that ahead of time before you actually even get started. One other step you guys will have to do that I've already done is removing your spare tire. You got to pop this guy off. Use your little kit that the vehicle comes with. Go ahead and drop it down, take it off. Good opportunity for you to check the air pressure and the condition of your spare tire if you have not done so. And as for the vehicle, as you can see, I have it up on some heavy duty wheel ramps. In addition, I have some jacks up underneath it. I do have some wheel chocks up here in the front, just some additional safety, because safety is always number one. Tools you're going to need over at the workbench, you're going to need your various sizes of sockets, 10 mil, 13 mil, 15 mil. You're going to need some type of torque wrench. I have a torque adapter here, and I'm just going to use my two sizes of wrenches. If you can, locate you one of these online. This is a grommet puller to help you get your exhaust mounts off of the little rubber grommets underneath the vehicle. Got my drill, of course, to help me get some of the stuff off quicker, and then you're going to need a flathead screwdriver specifically. All this stuff that you see here, I'll have a link down below. It is an affiliated link, so if you purchase from my link, I do receive a commission. But I do say thank you because it helps me film projects like the one you're seeing today and projects you'll continue to see on Gzilla. I'm pretty much just going to follow the Corsa Performance directions word for word. We're going to make our way up underneath the vehicle and some of the stuff off we need to do to get ready to remove the factory exhaust. First things first, you're going to make your way up underneath the back of the vehicle where your spare tire used to be mounted. You need to take off this heat shield. These 3 13mm bolts, 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and take those off, set this aside, keep it in a safe place. Next up, you're going to make your way a little bit further underneath the vehicle, over on both sides. You're going to go ahead and take off the 4 bolts, 2 on each side. They're 10mm for my vehicle. So go ahead and take your big wrench, remove those 2 bolts on both sides. Once you guys have those 4 bolts removed on both sides of the sway bar, it should be able to disconnect from the frame. Probably got to shake it just like that. Go ahead and let it drop, rotate it down, and back and out of the way. So you have the sway bar out of the way. You're going to make your way up above the passenger side axle. As you can see right here, here's a connection here you're going to have to remove, which connects your factory Y pipe to where your existing muffler is. If you have one, this is where I would 100% recommend a swivel ratchet. One that's probably a 1/2 inch, got some length to it so you can get some good leverage, but the swivel function allows me to clear some of these obstacles as I'm removing those bolts. Once you have those 2 bolts removed, back up on top of the axle, make your way back to the back side of the vehicle where your spare tire is, over on both the left and right hand sides. If you do have the dual exhaust version, you're gonna have an exhaust hanger. So right here you can see a bolt, and of course there's another corresponding bracket and a bolt over on the driver's side. Both of those need to come off. You can see this bracket comes out and actually hangs on to your factory tailpipes. Leave that bracket on your pipes. It's going to help you keep orientation once it's time to reinstall those brackets, because you will reuse those. Make sure if you have any clips like I do that are also attached to that bracket, pop out those clips prior to fully removing it. Once you have both of those brackets off, as you can see, this whole rear Y pipe section is loose. It's ready to come off, just like that. So yeah, go ahead and take out the rest of it, set it aside. You no longer need this, but keep it for safekeeping in case you decide to revert back. All right guys, once you have that rear portion of the exhaust pipe taken off, Make your way up to the front side of the vehicle. Right now where the transfer case is located, if you do have a four-wheel drive model. But just underneath the front cross member, you'll see here's your head pipe connection to your front factory cats. We're gonna have to take off this clamp right here. It's a 13mm clamp. Mine is unfortunately at the top. Go ahead and remove this clamp here. Now it's time to make our way back up towards the back of the vehicle. We got to remove all of the exhaust hangers, so that's where that special tool comes into play. And yeah, we're gonna make our way all the way back. So go ahead and starting at the next one, let's keep moving down the line and remove all these hangers off from the exhaust. Just to show you guys how the tool works, this part here, the little point, goes on the end that's already slipped through the grommet, and of course the fork grabs around the hanger from the back side. You just line it up. I'm going to do this like this. There it is. Pushing it through. Then reposition it a little bit more. There you go. Pretty much it's out. There you go. Grommet's off. So that's the second of three. The last one is actually over here, slightly to the right, right back above the axle. There's your last one. Go ahead and pull that guy out as well. So we got all the grommets off of the exhaust, and if you can hear or see, the whole thing moves. You got to pull backwards towards the back of the vehicle until this head pipe down there clears this front cross member. Once you have that front pipe clearing that cross member, this whole assembly is going to drop down towards the ground, and then I'll pull all the way forward until then the back side of this exhaust assembly clears the rear cross member, and then we can ultimately slide it out. I'll probably slide it out the side because that's going to be the better angle for me, but if you're on a lift, you just slide it straight out the front. And there we go, guys. We got the stock factory exhaust off. Now we're on the installation side of this install. First things first, as I alluded to at the beginning, there are some steps before you actually start to install that Corsa recommends you do. Page 7 of the directions will tell you exactly what needs to happen. Essentially, you need to apply anti-seize to the threads only of your clamps, and on the actual pipes themselves, you need to make some marks just so you know the nominal gap overlap for your installation. Essentially what that means is just how far does this expanded portion fit inside of that pipe. And as you can see there, there's my mark. Insert this pipe all the way until the end of that line. Again, the directions will tell you exactly what to do. On the stock exhaust, here's this clamp that you removed at the beginning. You need to reuse this clamp. It's a spherical clamp. So there's a little tab right in here, which is where your screwdriver is going to come in play. You're going to need to pry up on that tab and go ahead and remove this clamp, and that's what we're going to install on the Corsa Performance head pipe. Here it is. Go ahead and take this guy, slide it over the top of this. There you go. That's on there. And that's what's going to be the first installation. Alright guys, so go ahead and get your head pipe routed above the cross member, up and around, just like that. Exhaust hanger clamp into the grommet. Get that. It'll give you an extra hand. They're not easy to put in. There we go. Alright, that's in. Get the head pipe installed. Make sure it's pushed as far forward as you can, and then make sure your head pipe bolt clamp is over both of them. Go ahead and tighten the bolt. Do not torque it all the way yet. Just put it till it's snug. That's just to hold the pipe in place. The 13mm socket and your wrench to snug up this clamp. Alright, now that the head pipe's installed, next pipe we're going to grab is the mid pipe, and that's the one that has the two exhaust hangers. This guy right here. The inlet side of this specific pipe is the expanded end, so that's the inlet side. So that's the part that goes from front to the back, which is outlet. Let's make our way underneath, install this guy. We're back over near the rear differential. Go ahead and install your grommets, both grommets, into this pipe. It's going to go up and over that back axle, and of course it's going to hang itself right in here in the middle. Grommets may have some grease on them, so go ahead and get this pipe onto the grommets. And there we go. If you ask me, installing these grommets is the hardest part of this install. There you go. You guys can see it. Mid-pipe's installed. Go ahead and grab your 3-inch clamps. That's going to be your larger of the set of clamps that they've provided you. Go ahead and get those installed over the pipes ahead of time. So I'm going to go ahead and throw one of these up and over the outlet, up and over the inlet and the outlet of the mid-pipe. Keep in mind where you're going to tighten them from, so orient your clamps in the best position possible. Alright, with your clamps in place, time to grab your muffler, get that guy into position. Again, if you have a lift, that'll make this a whole lot easier. And as you guys already know, as you've oriented your pipes, the outlet of your muffler is the straight side, which goes into the expanded side of the mid-pipe, and vice versa. The inlet of the muffler is the expanded side, which goes over the outlet of the head pipe. So go ahead and get this up and in position, and then get your clamps snug, but do not torque them. Alright guys, and real quick I wanted to point something out. Those marks that you made on the exhaust pipe earlier, as you can see kind of behind on the non-expanded side, that once again is how far nominally your pipe should be inserted over the expanded side. Your clamp, if you've seen on page 7, it tells you the orientation that you need to put this clamp. So as you see here, there's a notch on the expanded side of the mid pipe. The actual clamp bolt needs to be 90 degrees offset from that notch. So again, you don't want it in line. That's not good. You want it 90 degrees from that split in the pipe. And that's going to be the same for all of these clamp connections that you do. Make sure it's 90 degrees. Can't stress it enough because it won't seal right and you'll be back underneath here. So 90 degrees, line it up perfectly with the edge of the pipe itself. Of course, this is not the final adjustment until we get everything installed. But again, I just wanted to take a pause, make sure you guys understand how to install these clamps correctly. Alright, now that you got your muffler installed and the clamps just snug, you're going to make your way back over to the back side once again. We're going to go ahead and grab up the split pipe, or the Y pipe, and we're going to go ahead and get this guy installed. Alright, so go ahead and take your split pipe, go up and over the rear cross member, and then of course slide it into the mid pipe, which is right above the axle. Alright, once you have your Y pipe installed above the cross member, it says per the directions to have about 3/4 inch gap above this cross member on both sides. So pretty much you're just going to twist it until you get that nominal gap, and then go ahead and snug up your clamp. Alright, next up we're going to move our way to the actual tailpipes. Make sure you grab the correct corresponding side. So I'm going to start on the driver's side of the vehicle. So go ahead and take a clamp, make it easier on yourself. On the tips of the Y pipe up there, go ahead and throw your clamp right up there and on, and do it on both sides. And then since I'm going to start on the driver's side pipe, go ahead and jump back over to your existing old factory pipe. You're going to need this exhaust bracket hanger here, and as you can see, currently have it on there. That's exactly how it's going to install over on your new pipe. So go ahead and take this guy, remember how it installs, which side faces front, which side faces back. Take your tailpipe and then go ahead and get one side installed. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get this slid up and over the tailpipe. There we go, just like that. Once again, aim for your nominal insertion. Go ahead and take your bracket, move it back up to the top, and there's a little tab on your actual hanging bracket which fits into the corresponding hole on the frame itself. Make sure that does install into that. You're going to have to do some adjustments to your pipe to get it in the right spot. Make sure that tab's in there. Grab your old bolt. Go ahead and get that started by hand. Not fully tightened, it's just snug for now. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. You got both brackets installed. Go ahead and do the same for your clamps in between the tailpipes and the Y pipe. Last but not least, you're gonna go ahead and grab your exhaust tips. They do have a protective film on there just to keep your grimy hands from spotting up your chrome tips. Per the directions, once again, it'll tell you exactly where they need to install. But first, don't forget, grab your clamps, throw those onto the tailpipes first, slide that over, slide that over. Now go ahead and grab your tips, get them installed, and get them snugged up for now. Don't worry about alignment, that's what we're gonna do here in a second. So just get them installed, get that clamp snugged up, then we'll move from there. All right, there we go. We have everything installed. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start at the very front. I'm gonna make sure all the clearances of my exhaust pipes, the overlap joint, the positioning of it being level, pretty much everything is as straight as possible and parallel to the ground. Same thing with the grommets that are holding your exhaust pipe in place. Make sure those are level or installed properly. And again, I'm gonna work my way back all the way to the end. Once I get back here to where the Y pipe is, or the split pipe, I must make some adjustments here between the Y pipe itself, the tailpipes, the tips, and then of course the brackets which hold on the tips right at the end of the vehicle. All those spots will make slight adjustments to the positioning of your tailpipes. So there's really not one recipe for this last portion. Your vehicle will probably be set up slightly different just because of variations in installation or however you tightened your bolts. You're going to torque all those clamps specifically to 45 foot-pounds. Make sure you're using a calibrated torque wrench. I'm going to be using my torque adapter here. So go ahead and work your way from the front to the back, adjust your alignments, and then we'll get ready to start installing the things we removed. As I approach the last couple of bolts, I will definitely tell you it's going to take some finagling to get it all lined up all the way back to the tips. So onto the last 3 bolts, or last 3 clamps, this one here. So we're almost done. But yeah, just wanted to let you know it will take a little bit of time. And once again, make sure you don't go over 45 foot-pounds. Now it's time to snug down these bracket bolts right here. You're going to torque those guys to 33 foot-pounds. Go ahead and locate your heat shield and your 3 bolts. Go ahead and get them started by hand and torque them to 16 foot-pounds. Next, you're going to go ahead and flip around and go ahead and get this guy back in position. Get your screws that you set aside earlier. Always start your screws by hand so you can make sure you're not cross-threading. Once you have your screws drawn down most of the way, you're going to torque these guys to 37 foot-pounds. And there you go. Everything's nice, tightened, and torqued down. Go ahead and make one more once-over. Look at all your clamps. Look at all your grommets. About time for that first startup. Last but not least, don't forget to take off your protective covers. Take a little razor blade, cut them off. Don't put a scratch in your exhaust pipes. But yeah, make sure you take these off first. So without further ado, go ahead and start up the first start with the Corsa Performance exhaust system. Louder, but oh my god, this is so much louder. Oh my god. You guys can't see her, my wife's right off camera, but she's got the open eyes of surprise and excitement. Yeah, it may not be a Jaguar, but this V8 is now purring. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, you have now successfully installed your Corsa Performance exhaust in your 2025, 2020, 2021, 2022. There's pretty much many years that Corsa offers these exhausts for. But nonetheless, if you have a 2025 Suburban, you now have a video to help you guys out, to do it yourself, save some money. Definitely you guys couldn't tell on camera, but it is a lot louder. I'll put a link up top and a link down below to one of these quick short videos so you guys can see the actual before and after cold starts. We've now completed a big project for the new vehicle in the house. But as always with that, there's gonna be plenty more videos to come for all the other vehicles we got in the stable. Thank you guys for watching another video with Everything Abron. It's been a good one. It's been an exciting one. I'll check you guys out in the next video soon.